Hi, and welcome back to the second in the series of producers masterclasses in how to cowbell. I'm just trying out the new tech at the moment, so I've got a bit of a feedback loop in here because I haven't got a receptionist's thingy, so I've got an old SM58 which I'm holding down next to me bits, and we have a bit of a ring in here. But today's I kind of dropped us in at the deep end yesterday with how to cowbell a kick, which obviously for the kind of music that we're discussing is kind of essential, but we need to go a little bit deeper into what we're doing. So today's I was going to do bass today, but I think really we need to rewind a little bit first, and so we're going to do number 2 in the series, which is what the fuck is cowbell. But before I do that, I just want to just listen to this. Oh, yeah. At the end of yesterday's tutorial, I just got one really bad kick drum. It probably didn't sound great because it was coming through the microphone on the iPad, but we've kind of got this going internally now with a feedback loop as well. So once this gets going, we might have a few problems. But I did mention layering 2 or 3 or perhaps 10 or 12 cowbells together to make your monstrous killer techno kick drum. So I finished off yesterday actually by laying 2 up, which I've included as a zip file on as a link on the thing, so you can download that and use that in your own productions. Actually, don't don't use it, but use it as a guide and how to create your own kick drum from cowbell. So here on the second channel, I've got cowbell kick 2, which is the one I was working on yesterday, which is going to the group. And in the end, what I decided to do with that one, because it wasn't great, I just used the attack portion of it. So you can see I've considerably changed the EQing on that. It's still got that cut in there that was there, but all of this area has been taken out. So this is a high frequency cowbell. Then that's been layered with another one, which is as I mentioned, you can layer them, high with low or whatever. And this is go to the low frequency cowbell. And just clip in there. Just continue there. Okay. Was that the 2? Another 2 together. Not a bad kick. We could then sample that off and do some further processing on it. But those 2 are grouped together. Even more compression, saturation, and EQ. And all this stuff, and then just a utility on the end to put it into mono, and then you can chorus it if you want, and then put it back into mono after frequency splitting it 3 or 4 different ways, and all the rest of it as they teach you how to do on the internet. It's on the internet, so it must be true. That's what I say. So yeah, I mean, yeah. So today, what the fuck is cowbell? Why is this series of masterclasses on cowbell? Well, if you can master cowbell, as I started to explain yesterday, you can master all electronic music, and I mean all, as I explained in the first in the series on how to cowbell a kick. I mean, cowbell is really serious business. It's not to be taken lightly at all. I mean, cowbell is just fucking, it's oral crack cocaine is what cowbell is. In fact, it's not crack. Cowbell, right, is oral crystal meth. It's instantly addictive, and once it gets hold of you, it will irreparably rot your brain. I mean, it's actually, I just can't get enough of it. It's the audio equivalent of an atomic bomb. created by the great Dark Angel himself. I mean, Hollywood's kind of led us to believe that, you know, that the Antichrist is in the shape of a human being, and I'm telling you, it's not. This is just camouflage put there in place by Lucifer himself. And as David Icke himself has publicised on more than one occasion, the Antichrist is not in human form. The Antichrist is not even in physical form as we understand it at all. The Antichrist is in oral form. And what oral form, do you ask? Well, I mean, do you need to ask? I mean, you're here, aren't you? So, even though you know your soul's going to burn in hell for all eternity, and you're still here, aren't you? You can't help yourself. And later on, I'm going to demonstrate why. But I'll tell you, it's going to take you over, ruin your life. It's going to turn your loved ones against you and your family against you, or at least that's what you're going to think. The reality is it's turning you against them. And once it's got you in its grasp, that's it. It's going to destroy your real career, waste your education, and it's going to make you so delusional that you can think you have a career in cowbell. And it's going to destroy you, your marriage, your health, your mental health, and it will see you scrabbling naked, covered in shit and piss, rolling around in the gutter, praying that you can just hear its delicious tone one more time. But I know you're seeking it out on the net. You've already heard the call of the cowbell. I mean, you know, I'm speaking to the condemned, aren't I? So you've already been taken over by its sickly, sweet deliciousness, and there's nothing I can do to stop you. So you're going to have to make your own mistakes and pay the price, as I have, along with everyone who's ever had the sorry misfortune to meet me. Oh fuck, that's the doorbell. Right, where was it? Fucking doorbell. Parcel for next door. Cowbell. Yeah, it's cowbell. So what is cowbell? Cowbell is all sound. It's all pitched noises and all unpitched and percussive sounds. All music is made from two things and two things only, and that's cowbell and absence of cowbell. Something John Cage made extremely famous with his anti-cowbell piece called 4 minutes 33. Fucking hell, fire! I bet Plug-in Guru doesn't have any of this crap, does he? I don't know. Right, what was I talking about? John Cage, cowbells, fucking atomic bombs, David Icke, Satan. Right, Facebook. Yesterday, young Padawan, Phil Kogan, says, are we going to do a Hoover video? And it's like, yes, young Jedi. We are going to do a Hoover video. Some examples: kick, bent cowbell, hi-hat, cowbell, simple bass, loop cowbell, a Hoover, which is a loop blade detuned cowbell, 303 and all of acid house and psytrance as well, that's distorted cowbell, Reese bass layered, simple cowbell bass and detuned cowbell mid bass. Growl bass, essentially a Reese bass, which is, you know, those three layers of cowbell bass. So it's a bass made from cowbell plus filtering. Analog synthesis, cowbell oscillators. Roland LA, linear arithmetic synthesis, which is kind of above plus sample cowbell. Techno, cowbell. Drum and bass, very noodly, complicated cowbell. Mozart, cowbell. Tim rib, that's all cowbell. In fact, very often, Tim rib track will feature pure, unadulterated, neat cowbell, which is extremely, extremely, I think this is a tin rib cowbell. It's extremely dangerous, and why John Tinrib often used to wear a special hat to protect his brains from being fried. And perhaps the number one reason why the Tinrib label was such a success is the fucking oral crack cocaine that is neat cowbell. So to understand what's going on, we've got to dissect the cowbell. I just can't get enough of it. Right. I used to teach this in a college. The kids wouldn't believe me, I don't know. Fucking hell. Yeah, Colin, if you're watching this, didn't I teach you in college? Didn't I? That's why they fired me. Right. F5. Producers Masterclass. Number 2. What the fuck's cowbell? So, we've already said, you know, serious business, crystal meth, Satan, David Icke, and going on to death and destruction, all music, and then atomic structure and basically nuclear weapons times 1,000. So, not only do we have cowbell, but we have death by PowerPoint as well. Now this is a cowbell in its dormant state, and it's a very kind of innocuous looking inanimate object on first inspection. It looks like a very simple, harmless metal object, which in its virgin form it is, but with the simple introduction of a stick and it hitting the cowbell, miraculous things change within its atomic structure. And this is kind of the way we normally see, you know, a cowbell in use. And it's, as the slide says, it's mind control. As you'll understand later on, it's all to do with what's hitting the cowbell and the frequencies it resonates at. Now, the brain within a side of a cow is very, very, very simple. And so it doesn't have the same effect on a cow as it does on humans. So it's quite a benign, safe thing with a cow, and it does keep the cow under control. But it is, you know, it's kind of having that crack cocaine effect on the cow, but in a much milder form. So let's have a look at this a bit further on. So the cowbell in its virgin form is very safe. It's not going to do anything. It's only with the simple introduction of a stick and hitting the cowbell that miraculous things change, just to reiterate that. And it's quite important that it's a human holding the stick. And the reason it resonates so strongly with us and it's so addictive is obvious when we examine the atomic structure of the cowbell. So here's the structure of the cowbell in its dormant state. And that's quite a nice kind of square, orderly pattern, you know, it's nothing there that's going to harm us in any way. Now, I'm going to show you next what happens to the structure of the cowbell when it's been hit by a stick. Not any stick, mind you, though. The stick's just a conduit. A human has to be holding the stick. And the stick is mere conduit between human and cowbell. Because what happens next is pretty miraculous, but also very, very scary at the same time. And it explains, really, why cowbell is so addictive. So I'll just show you the structure first of a human. Now, this is the atomic structure of the entirety of a human being. As you can see, it's a very, very complex structure as compared to the very, very simple structure of the cowbell. But now, as a human holding a stick hits the cowbell, the atomic structure of the cowbell morphs to mimic that of the human hitting it with the stick. Now, not only does the cowbell emit sound waves, which are shaped by its new atomic structure, obviously, which not only vibrate at one but all frequencies that human can perceive, but these are also in perfect synchronous phase with the human's own internal vibrations. Now, you can imagine this is not only just stimulating the human pleasure centres, but the human's entire being. Now, all well and good, you might say. Now, but what if you made a bomb with this? I mean, you know, if this can be made, if it morphs to be, you know, whatever is hitting it with a stick, I mean, you know, put it in a bomb, put a stick in there, and put some earth, stick, cowbell. I mean, that's powerful bloody stuff. That's like nuclear weaponry times 1,000, and that is why cowbell is all music. All music is cowbell, and ultimately why it is and can be so destructive. So take care out there, and happy cowbelling.